Hi everyone! Welcome to Artsonia's After School Art Club. Today we have a fun art project from Tosha Raynor, an art teacher from North Carolina. Hope you enjoy the video and don't forget to have your artwork uploaded to your Artsonia gallery.
Hi, my name is Miss Tosha Raynor and I am a high school art teacher in Wilmington, North Carolina at New Hanover High School. Today I want to demonstrate how to create a color wheel dice. It shows our 3 primary colors and our 3 secondary colors on one dice. You can make them big or small, depending on if you want to actually use them for a game or just to play around with the color wheel. Supplies that you're going to need for this project are a square, our dice template. You can find these online, but if you can't, I am going to try to post this as a link from this video so that you can just print this out at home. You'll also need a pair of scissors to cut out your template as well as some of your squares. If you look at my color wheel dice here, you'll see that my squares are perfectly cut out. You can cut out your first perfectly measured out square and then use that as a template, trace it, cut it out over and over and over. Or you can go to your local craft store and buy one of these handy dandy paper punchers. They come in different shapes and sizes, but if you look for the perfectly square one, they also come in different sizes. So depending on how big or small you want your dice, you'll want to get the right square measurement paper puncher. So I'm going to use this today because it's going to be a huge time saver. You'll also need an adhesive. So you can either use a glue stick, you can use Elmer's liquid glue, you can use Scotch tape, depending on how what you want your craftsmanship to be on your dice, or you can use hot glue, depending on how sturdy you want your dice to be. Typically with the glue stick and trying to glue each of your little flaps once you actually start to fold your dice together, unless you want to hold your flaps to the other side of your dice for a good amount of time, you might want to consider using either hot glue or Scotch tape. The other thing I like to use, you can use construction paper at home to cut out your squares, but I like to go to the home repair stores and get the free paint samples. So I have paint samples for each of my primary and secondary colors. So I've got my yellow, I've got my blue. If you notice, I've got a whole different brand of paint samples for my orange. I've got purple, red, and green. Again, Home Depot, Lowe's Home Improvement. If you go in, don't go crazy on the paint samples, but they're free. They're meant for people to pick up and utilize at home. We're going to utilize them in our art project today. I'm going to start first by cutting out my template, my dice template. So now I have my dice template cut out, and again, these little flaps on the edge of each of the squares are meant to be folded over so that they glue onto the side of the other side of the dice. So again, you can either Scotch tape these, glue them, or hot glue them. But for now, before we move on to that, we are going to start filling in each of our squares with one of our primaries and or secondaries. I'll start with purple, and since I have 4 different tints and shades of the purple on my paint swatch. I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half so that my handy dandy little paper puncher can cut all the way around it, because it can only go so far up the paper. So I'm going to need 9 of one color on each side of the dice. Now I'm going to fold over each of my colors and then also fold over the flaps so that once I start gluing, I can just glue the flaps to the other side of the dice. So now, for instance, once we fold all of this over, this flap will be glued right into the edge of the opposite side of the template so that it will start becoming a nice little cube. And you'll glue that all into place and it becomes a cube. I'm going to go back here to my hot glue gun against my whiteboard to hot glue all of the pieces together so that it's a nice sturdy little cube.